Hi, everybody. I'm in between probably everybody and their end of the day, so I get the most special session of the day. Just to introduce myself really quickly. Need to click. Thank you. Today we're going to talk a little bit about transforming customer and employee experiences with Freddy AI. Just to let you know a little bit about myself, my name is Payal Patel. I'm a senior director of solution engineering. I manage all of the SC team. My team basically aligns with the sales team, helps vendors figure out solutions across support, sales, marketing, anything to do with your business and being able to allow you to accelerate that. Been with Freshworks for about 5 years. Prior to Freshworks, been in the industry for about 17 plus years. I started off in data centers, racking servers, and I've gone in and switched in the last 10 years into software across the industry. So let's talk a little bit about the state of how generative AI is transforming customer and employee experiences. So let's talk a little bit more about what's happening. We've all faced some form of wave in the technological industry. And what that really does is these waves spark a lot of innovation within the organization. And each disruption actually challenges the status quo, and it gives the opportunity for businesses to propel and get ahead of the market. What we've seen throughout history is that this innovation really leads companies to being able to revolutionize and take over the market. So, for example, I live in the US, and I went on a trip to San Francisco about 10 years ago. I actually live in San Francisco now. And I remember a friend telling me, let's go use our mobile phone, pick up a ride from a driver who's going to take me from point A to point B and drop me off. Who here thought that getting in a stranger's car, in their car, not a taxi, was the next thing to do? And that's how Uber innovated, right? They came up with a way that you don't have to go find a taxi and hail the taxi. You can do that all through your mobile device. And innovative companies like this have actually disrupted the entire taxi market. And that's what these waves are all about. Another one that we can think about is, if you think about the iPhone, it's another revolution that's happened. Before the iPhone, how many of you have had a BlackBerry? Raise your hand. I watched this movie. I was on a flight from San Francisco to New York from one of our conferences, and I watched the BlackBerry movie, and that company was super innovative until they weren't anymore. They basically lost their innovation in one shot. They didn't stay ahead of the curve. They thought that they had all the innovation that they needed. Steve Jobs did one keynote. In that day, BlackBerry was wiped out. How many of you now have an iPhone in this room, if you raise your hand? Exactly. So that's what we're going to be talking about, and how you don't want to be really left behind in that. So there's been a lot of different meaningful waves. We'll talk about the first one. In 2010 and 2018, the first meaningful wave we saw was social media. Now, social media has really changed the way we do things. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, how we interact with businesses. And actually, the most successful e-commerce businesses started off of social media. In the US, there's companies like Dollar Shave Club, Warby Parker, and I was researching a couple of companies in Mexico like Ben and Frank or Didi, who's now used for, similar to Uber. All of these had started in some form of social media to take advantage of that space and how to accelerate through e-commerce. If you think about back in the day, social media could become quickly irrelevant. There was a company called MySpace. I don't know if anybody remembers that company. I see some heads nodding. But that company is gone because they also didn't find a way to innovate. And if you think about it today, there's a stat, 63% of the world's population uses social media to interact with businesses. So they really created, through all these Facebook, Instagram, we really created that meaningful wave of social media. The next one is all around cloud telephony. How many of you have an office that you go to, and back in the day, you would probably sit around an intercom and have a conversation? COVID created this challenge for us. We no longer could go to an office, and we had to evolve. And that's where Zoom came in. Zoom started to figure out a way to we had the Ciscos of the world, and we had a couple of other folks that had been in that industry, but Zoom kind of accelerated that. Now we all do everything through Zoom. We do things like e-learning. You could take a class virtually. They've also evolved, and that's how telephony has continued to evolve. And then the third one is modern messaging. I'm sure everybody here possibly is chatting through WhatsApp or iMessage or is familiar with that. Raise your hand. How many text messages do you think in the world happen on a daily basis? Somebody want to take a guess? Million? Okay, I heard a million. More. 3 billion. Million or billion? Millions. So the actual number, and I'm going to look at my note, is 25 billion text messages happen in one day. So if there's that many text messages happening, you have to capture your customers in the channels that they're in. And these meaningful waves actually create monster waves. And some of the biggest monster waves that we've seen are the web browser. The web browser created a way for us to all do things on the internet. Without this, we wouldn't have been able to communicate, we wouldn't have been able to build e-commerce stores, we wouldn't been able to do a lot of things. Talked about the iPhone earlier, how that disrupted the market. And then finally, now we're at a place, since March, generative AI has kicked off, and in 1 year, every customer is talking about AI. Every company is talking about AI. Raise your hands if you are actually thinking about AI within your business or evaluating vendors today about applying AI into your organization. It's a good amount of hands that have gone up. And I'm sure outside of that, you're probably using ChatGPT. I do it all the time, crafting emails, figuring out your itinerary for your next trip, or leveraging it just to help be your new assistant throughout. And the revolution of generative AI is going to continue to come as we continue to work on this. So there are some key trends that we are going to be focusing on. So if I were to paint the picture of the future of tomorrow, it's going to be all around autonomous workflows. This is going to be the future. Today, what we do when we create any form of workflow, you're clicking step by step by step to align and create that workflow. The future is going to be where you can actually tell AI, here's what I want to execute. You don't need to create all those steps, and it's going to be very flowless, very autonomous, being able to understand the intent and then allowing for that workflow to kick off. The next one is around the future of how people work, how your employees, your customer agents will work. And we believe that conversations are going to become the new UI. The reason this is what I talked about a little bit earlier. We talked about text messaging and how everything has become part of a conversation. So when somebody WhatsApps your business, you want to be able to have a conversation with them based on what channel they're reaching out to you. And the only way you can do that is finding a strategy to allow for those conversations and interactions to happen on a platform. And the third big thing that AI is going to drive is because AI is all about unstructured data, you're going to need to find ways and strategies to get insights from this unstructured data. And we believe the companies that can actually get that insights and deliver that to business stakeholders and leaders are going to really be able to accelerate and propel their business. So what does all of this mean? Well, Freshworks has been around for a really long time, and we actually have been thinking about AI before generative AI had come out. But we've been around since about 2011. Our CEO had an issue with a TV, and he realized the only way he was going to get help with the TV was by going to some social forum, because nobody from support could help him otherwise. He went to a forum, and the CEO of the company reached out and decided to help him. Now, that sparked an idea for him. That's how he built our first product, which is Freshdesk. This is our customer service platform that allows you to create tickets and solve your customers' inquiries. Then, as we evolved into cloud telephony, we decided that it was imperative to have more modern channels of engagement. So we started to think about modern messaging with Freshchat. We also started to leverage Freshcaller, which is a browser-based, web-based telephony platform. And we realized from looking at all of our customers that were using our customer experience software that our internal employees also needed similar help, and that's how we built our ITSM solution, which is Freshservice. Through that evolution, we've decided that in the customer support experience world, you do need a unified platform that lets you do everything. Whether you want to use messaging to reach out to your customers, whether you want to be able to chat with them, whether you want to be able to call them, all of that within a unified platform. But what's changed now is we've propelled that solution with generative AI. And we've done the same with our ITSM solution for Freshservice as well. And because generative AI has allowed us to innovate, we're not just innovating for today and finding the strategies to build things on our platform that will help the users, whether it's customers, whether it's employees, but it's also the AI of tomorrow. We're continuing to innovate so that we can keep up, and we don't want you to be left behind, and we also don't want to be left behind. So we continue to evolve and create more within our ecosystem to allow you to leverage the capabilities without having a data scientist, without having to have complex infrastructure. It's all built on our platform, and we do all of the work for you. So let's talk a little bit about what our mission is. We deliver a modern AI-powered customer and employee service platform that's going to allow you to increase efficiency and improve engagement. And it's for all companies of all sizes. So as I said earlier, our company was founded in 2010. We have been in the industry for about 10 plus years. We actually IPO'd on the NASDAQ about 2 years ago. We have our 2024 expected revenue is about $700 million, and we have 5,000 employees with over 67,000 customers leveraging us. And I talked a little bit about innovation, and because we've been continuing to innovate, we've been recognized in the Magic Quadrant across 3 major quadrants itself, which is Customer Experience, ITSM, as well as CRM. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what is Freddy AI and how we leverage that across our platform. First and foremost, I'm sure there's many CIOs here. We've thought about trust as the first thing from an AI perspective. Everybody is concerned that AI is going to create more chaos than doing well for your businesses. And what I mean by that is AI can give false answers sometimes. It can create toxicity where it's giving misinformation as well. And we take care of that by doing a few things. One, we've ensured that our tech stack is leveraging secure protocols. We leverage Azure OpenAI as our AI solution, which is using our large language models. We also ensure that we have a layer called Freddy Guardian that's doing a lot of the checks and balances to ensure that data stays within our platform and doesn't go outside into the public network. So to ensure that that's within our systems. And then we've also built a couple of different data models within our platform. So we leverage large language models such as Azure OpenAI. We're also exploring things like Amazon Titan, a couple of others as well. And what we also have done that's unique to Freshworks, because we've been thinking about AI for such a long time, is we've built account and domain models as well. And what that means is our model can understand your industry, so if you're in the healthcare industry or the retail vertical, and it can also understand your account information, which is within our platform, and it commingles the large language model with the account data, with the domain data, and provides better responses through AI. So let me give you an example. Imagine you are a furniture company. If you were to search, how do I fix a broken leg using just the large language model, if it doesn't have enough context, it might give you instructions on how to fix the broken leg of a human. But because we understand the domain, for example, if you went and searched that same query again, how do I fix a broken leg? It might give you instructions to fix the broken leg of a wooden table because it's a furniture company, for example. We then add a third layer because your business, this furniture company business, might sell only marble tables. When you search that again, this time it's going to be in the context of how to fix the broken leg of a marble table. So our AI is unique because it's not only taking into account OpenAI, which many competitors are doing, we're actually adding a bigger layer of your information, your data within our platform. Our big mission is to really uncomplicate AI, and what we're doing with that is we're making it really easy to set up and implement AI as you use our solutions. So we have 3 ways that we're doing that. We have Freddy Self-Service, which delivers personalized resolutions with smart automations, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into all of these. We have Freddy Copilot, that is for your support, your sales team, your IT team, the folks that respond to your customers and employees. This allows them to be supercharged with productivity. So how can they respond faster? How can they lower average handle time, increase first call resolution, and so forth? And finally, we have Freddy Insights. And Freddy Insights allows you as leaders to get informed decisions. What we're doing uniquely with Freddy Insights is that we allow Freddy Insights to not only give you data, instead of you having to search through lots of reports, we'll present the data to you. But not only do we present the data to you, we actually give you an action, and it allows you to do something with that insight that you're getting. That could mean creating a workflow. It could mean creating a bot for you. So imagine how administrators now don't have to focus on creating all the tactical, mundane things. They can focus on more of the complex things within the organization. All right, so let's talk a little bit about some of the themes that we are focused on. Earlier, I talked about some of the AI trends and how that's aligning to us. There are 3 big themes that we're focused on. The first one is all around hyper-personalization. How can you make every customer and employee feel like you know them? How many times have you reached out either to your internal IT team or even to a support organization and you're having to repeat who you are? Raise your hand if you've had to repeat multiple times who you are as an individual. They don't know who you probably called, some of you might have flown here, you have a problem with your ticket, you're calling in, they're like, give me your information, give me your confirmation number. How can we really create a much more hyper-personalized experience? The next thing is all about empowering your agents. Your workforce is important to you, and you want to ensure that they're getting work done as efficient and as quickly as possible. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can make their work even more better by making them superhuman in terms of how fast they can service employees and customers. And finally, we'll talk about proactive insights. We'll talk about how you can get ahead of the curve, know what's happening with your organization, be a lot more proactive in solving problems rather than being reactive, and being able to have a handle of everything that's going on within the organization. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about hyper-personalization. And how many of you here feel that your business needs more personalization when reaching out to your customers? I saw one hand kind of go up. Yeah. Actually, hyper-personalization, the way to think about it is serve a market of millions as you would serve a market of one. If your brand is so important to you, if you can get people sold on your brand and feeling happy about reaching out to you or leveraging your software, your product, whatever it may be, you keep them for life rather than making them feel like they're not somebody who's valuable to you. And the simplest way you can do that is by providing some form of hyper-personalization. The other thing to think about is, instead of asking, and this is how our solution can help you, instead of your agents having to ask, how can I help you? What is your name? What is that ticket number? All of that, surface up that information to the agent so they're not having to find it, or they're not having to go to 5 different systems to figure out where that information is. Put it all in one unified place. And then also find ways to optimize how you serve your customers. Some of the challenges that customers face is that they get stuck in a bot flow that doesn't help them. How can you make self-service a lot more conversational, ensuring that they're getting the help that they need, and also understanding their intent. When they are frustrated, making sure you can transfer them to a human. So this is how we're doing this with, we're thinking about automating with Freddy Self-Service. There are a couple of things that we do. Freddy Self-Service allows you to understand the context of what's happening in the conversation and offer rapid, personalized information. So here's the dream story. Instead of them asking you who you are, you say, hi, I need help. Automatically, the bot is able to go get your information from a system, present it to you, and say, hi, Amelia, are you calling about this flight that you're about to go off on? If they respond yes, being able to continue to help them through a conversational way. So it doesn't feel like a bot. It feels like you're actually having a conversation with an agent. And these bot-based virtual agents, we'll call them, who have the customer profile in mind, have all of the information, are able to not only leverage the data from a third-party system, but also leverage knowledge within your platform. So if you have solution articles, if you have quick help tips, FAQs, how do you also give them the quick responses they need? If I have a question on a baggage claim, I want to know, hey, how much do I have to pay to load my bag on your flight? And have that quick response. And then finally, ensuring that you can get all of the information and execute things within the bot. So if you need to change a flight, maybe that requires an agent. But if you just need to execute a refund because something didn't arrive or they're missing something, how can you execute that without ever having to have a human be leveraged? Ensuring that your workforce, your agents, don't have to focus on all the simple inquiries and allowing them to focus more on the complex ones. So how do we make deflection a core part of customer support? So what this does is really provide that personalized responses and increase deflection. The next theme we're going to talk about is how can you empower your human agents, to be able to do superhuman work. Imagine a world where these agents are looking at a screen and they have a personal assistant based on the data that they're seeing within the system that can guide them on every step of the way. Imagine how quickly people can get trained and how quickly those support agents can start to help customers. We think that empowering these agents to be more successful is going to drive more optimization within the business. And we don't think you're going to ever have to reduce workforce because we understand people are afraid. They think that AI is going to create this reduction in workforce, but it's actually supposed to augment the workforce. Keep your workforce there while giving them the capabilities that they can accelerate and do more with less. So how are we doing that at Freshworks? We're giving you the ability to get contextual assistance with Freddy Copilot. Freddy Copilot is, as I said, it's going to become that personal assistant that is always on to help the agent. And it also offers various things such as how to collaborate and solve inquiries, how to take away some of the repetitive tasks that are needed. For example, we have the ability to, while the agent is having a conversation with the customer, let's say the customer says they want to do a refund. Instead of the agent having to go look up the refund policy and how they would interact with it, Freddy can surface up what that policy is to the agent, guiding the agent step by step. It can then not only guide the agent on what that refund policy is, but it can give a response. So it'll say, insert this response to the customer and tell them this is how we're going to go ahead and proceed with the refund. So imagine how on brand that agent can be. We can use capabilities from Copilot to then enhance a conversation or the tone or the professionalism of how they're responding to the customer so that they're always staying on brand. And then finally, that assistant can also help execute that refund automatically as well. We can also do a couple of other things, such as for marketing, we can build the entire marketing campaign through bots end to end. So all you're doing is having a conversation with the bot. What is the reason for your campaign? Who is the segment of the audience that you want to reach out to? It'll just ask those questions, grab the data from the CRM that's already in our solution, and then create a campaign and even create the messaging, the templates, all of that that goes with it to then leverage and propel how quickly you can set up a marketing campaign. And then we have a lot of the other Copilot features that are very familiar to many if you've been evaluating any form of Copilot. Things like summarization, tone enhancer, being able to respond from knowledge-based articles within your platform. All of that is available as well. The final theme that I want to talk about is real-time continuous intelligence. And honestly, knowledge is power. How long do you think it takes a leader in an organization to get a report that can actually provide insights to their CEO? Many of you are probably leaders within this organization, and it takes a really long time to sift through data and get the information you need for your manager to understand what's happening in the business. And our goal is to provide real-time continuous intelligence. Instead of you sifting for it, we're going to present you the data. So let's talk a little bit about what that looks like. We're going to be able to provide actionable intelligence with Freddy Insights. You'll be able to provide proactive and contextual insights through recommendations. And the way we do this is, for example, if you're in a customer support organization, we'll show you the top 3 trends that are happening within your business. Not only will we show you those top 3 trends based on incoming tickets or inquiries or conversations, we'll then even say, here's how you can solve that problem. We're recommending that you create a self-service bot, leveraging our Freddy self-service tools, and it will create the entire bot flow for you based on the inquiries there are. You deploy that bot, and hopefully it'll start to deflect some of the inquiries that have been coming in to your organization. You can also do things like create a knowledge base if needed. So we're using generative AI to help us build knowledge-based articles. That's a very time-consuming and difficult process, and we're leveraging generative AI to do that. And what all of this does is it really drives quicker decision-making. It drives the ability to really identify issues a lot faster, and it also frees up the time of the leaders to focus on the problems rather than searching for those insights. So that was the final slide from me in regards to how we're providing insights. I did want to quickly talk about GB Advisors, who we are presenting with today. They are one of the leading software solutions in ITSM. They help with finding not just ITSM, but customer service as well. They promote a lot of digital transformation, and they're here to help you accelerate your business as you're evaluating, whether you're evaluating customer experience software, employee experience software, or even CRM, sales support, sales and marketing as well. And in simple words, they are really great at making a positive impact on people's lives. They think people are the most important when working with them, and we believe that their partnership can really help many organizations. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions that we have.
Payal, great talk. Thanks. Let's go to the question and answer session. Anyone has any questions? Here? Okay, people on social media ask you. The first question is about implementation and first steps. It says, for companies that are considering integrating artificial intelligence into their IT service management and customer experience, what will be the crucial first steps they should take?
So I think the first thing you should look for is actually look for software and vendors that provide AI to you rather than you having to develop it from scratch. Here's the reason why. If the software already provides you those capabilities, you're able to accelerate and move faster than you having to figure it out yourself. Also, look at companies that are able to provide you the steps to get started. Because AI is very cumbersome, where do you begin your journey? And ensure that you're asking them questions about their data model. Because some data models are just using OpenAI, and it's not thinking about making the data more personalized to your business. So being able to understand your industry, being able to understand your business and how to respond. Because if you're just using OpenAI, it doesn't give you all of the information that your customers need to get the responses quickly. So these are some things I would say to consider to ensure that you're getting the right cost as well for what the software or the solution provider can provide you from an AI perspective.
Okay, any other question here? No? Okay. The second question on social media is about challenges and solutions. It said, integrating artificial intelligence into business operation can present a number of challenges. What are some of the most common obstacles organizations face when implementing artificial intelligence in CX, and what strategies do you suggest to overcome them?
I think the first one is ensuring the culture is ready for AI. If your customer support agents don't understand how to leverage AI, no matter what solution you bring in, they won't adopt it. So there has to be a cultural shift, and that has to come top down, has to come with the businesses thinking about AI and understanding innovation as well. I think another factor is data. If your data, your baseline data, doesn't have what it needs, AI is not going to work. So in customer support, for example, you have to have some knowledge repository. We're thinking very innovatively because we understand that not everybody has a knowledge-based repository that's within our system. We're going to have the ability to pull external sources. So ensure that the data that you're going to leverage to provide insights is clean and has the ability to provide the right answers and recommendations. And then I think another big thing to think about is how do you train and deploy AI across the organization? How do you ensure that people know how to leverage the AI within the system? And I think training is crucial for some of that as well.
Okay, the next question is about future trends. It said, looking ahead, what are some of the emerging trends in the use of artificial intelligence for customer experience and IT service management that you believe will have a significant impact in the coming years?
Actually, I spoke about one of them today. I think workflows are part of everybody's business, and they are the most painful things to set up. And this autonomous, flowless workflows is going to be the next innovation in how to make the lives of administrators a lot more faster. How do you just say, here's how you execute a refund? If the customer is asking about the refund to a bot, the bot knows now your process of how to execute the refund, and there's no reason to create a workflow step-by-step explaining it. So flowless automation and making it very simple to create, I think is going to be the next big revolution.
Anyone has any question? Okay, there is a question. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I would like to know what kind of data, what kind of information you need to create a new layer over the generic AI model, you know, like, for example, to personalize services and process?
Yeah, couple of things. So if you want to create a personalized experience, you do need to know about your customers. Whether that is having some form of customer profile that you're generating through your software, or if you have that in some form of a database, bringing that in to a solution. So knowing who they are, what they've purchased, what are some of the things that they've done with your business, what marketing journeys have they taken, all of that can help create a much more personalized experience. Alongside understanding the customer profile is also what I talked about, the knowledge base. Understanding and building a content repository that has quick answers to things that your customers would ask can also create much more of a personalized response as well. It's all about data in that scenario. The better the data is, and that has to happen from an organizational perspective. You have to have some protocols in place, especially if you're in a customer support organization. If you do have customers still calling in, ask the agents to ask some additional questions so they're gathering more data points about your customer. Make it more personalized by asking them, when's your birthday? And when their birthday comes up, sending them some form of email, promotion, whatever it may be. The more data you collect, and I think that's going to be crucial for AI as well, the more data you collect, the better AI is going to work. And it doesn't have to be structured anymore. Because generative AI has transformed that, it could be unstructured data as well.